Hey everyone, welcome back to the Porter Says podcast with your host and only host Heath. Alright, so you guys know the drill by now with this podcast. We're just going to get straight into everything. Obviously talk about the movies I've been watching. Got some film and TV show news, just a bunch of stuff I want to talk about. I'm also going to give my thoughts on Goosebumps, The Vanishing on Disney Plus. Finished that a couple of days ago. Oh no, about 2 days ago now, actually. Dad and I finally finished it. So that'll probably be at the end of this episode. If you can hear something in the background, it's either the aircon or Porter. He's on the other couch at the moment. He might come up and make an appearance, and if not, I'll try and put up a picture of him. Couple of things before I get into this episode. It's not an official thing, but I was with a mate last week, and he helped me create a website and a bunch of different stuff for this podcast. So I'll try and keep you guys updated, because it's not, he was kind of doing some work for me in a way, like he was kind of helping out, and because he's really into that stuff. Really into creating stuff and helping me out, and he wants to. He's just like all my other friends and family. He wants to see me do well with this. So and I actually very much appreciate it from everybody who's been watching this. I know I say that a lot. I know I do tend to repeat myself in these episodes, but I just feel the need to do so. So yeah. Noticed I haven't said what number this episode is. You'll obviously be able to tell with the title and when it comes out. Currently I'm filming at nearly 10 o'clock at night. I do tend to like filming, late at night. I think I prefer it, than doing it during the day. Alright, let's get into it. We'll start off with like some of the news, in the film and TV show world. It's probably more film stuff and all that, but I've got a couple of like TV shows and stuff, like about 3 shows. Obviously, there's the Goosebumps, but again, that'll be at the ends. But so that's all right. So let's go. So one of the recent news was that Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which is the vampire TV show with I can never get this woman's name right. Sarah Michelle Gellar. She played Daphne in those 2 live-action Scooby-Doo films, and obviously she played Buffy the Vampire Slayer for 7 seasons. Apparently, it's getting a revival, which is pretty cool. I actually never finished that series. My dad and I got to. I think we actually got to the last season, but we just kind of lost. We just never got back to it. I personally kind of lost interest, if I'm honest. I just to give my quick thoughts on the show in a way. Again, I never finished it, but from what I saw, we got maybe a few episodes into the last season. I thought it was a great show for the first maybe 3 seasons. And then around season 4 or 5 is kind of where it started to go a little bit downhill for me. It was still enjoyable, but I feel like it didn't really need to be 7 seasons. Again, I don't know how it ends. I've managed to avoid that, so maybe one day I'll get back to it, and we'll see how everything goes with that. But yeah, so that's that part of it's a bit of the news with that. I'm pretty interested to see what it's going to be, and who's going to return besides obviously Sarah Michelle Gellar herself. What if Alison Hagen is going to return and all that stuff. So, and next bit of news is that, well, I guess it's kind of news in a way. Cobra Kai, the Netflix, started off as a YouTube Red show and became a Netflix series. It is coming to an end. Tomorrow night, it will be releasing its final 5 episodes, because they split season 6 into 3 parts. Third and final part series finale. I am so excited for this final part of the show. I really am so keen to see how they wrap it up, and I hope they really stick the landing. But part of me, obviously, is really not ready to be without these characters, because, I mean, I came in a little bit late, kind of. I came in about 2 years after the show had started. I think I started watching it in 2020, a little bit after COVID, I think. I watched the first 2 seasons, so I was able to, be able to anticipate seasons 3, 4, 5, and all 3 parts of seasons, of the other seasons. So yeah, season 3, 4, 5, and 6, 3 parts of the 6th one. So that was obviously, anticipating those seasons was so much fun. Because I still had to wait a little bit, not as long as a lot of people did, but I still had to wait to see after the cliffhanger of season 2 with the final high school fight. But yeah, I don't want it to end. I really don't, because I love these characters, and it's in what I think in the trailer they released, it's like 4 decades of history, which is wild to think about. It's such a wild situation, but very keen to see how it all wraps up, and expect a review of part 3 in the next episode, because obviously it's tomorrow, and I can't review it now as much as I really wish I could be watching it right now. I think around like maybe 5 p.m. it'll hit Netflix, and I'll be back at home before that. I'll be back from the movies tomorrow, because I'm going to go see Captain America Brave New World. So expect a review of that as well. Alright, so the rest of this is just kind of like trailer stuff, and or just like castings and all that. So, saw the first trailer for the new Jurassic Park World movie. I've already forgotten what the title. I think it's Jurassic World Rebirth, maybe? No, that doesn't sound right. I can't remember. New Jurassic Park World movie with Scarlett Johansson as the lead role. I really love the first Jurassic Park. I thought 2 and 3 were okay. Jurassic World was okay, but then Jurassic World 2 Fallen Kingdom was pretty bad, and Jurassic World 3 Dominion, whatever it was called, was whatever. So I'm intrigued by this one, but I just feel like Jurassic Park didn't really need to be this long-lasting franchise, because, I mean, you can say that for a lot of franchises, but I feel like this one, there's only so much you can do. But I'll go see it. I'll be optimistic about it and go into it with a clear mind, open mind. It looks like just to see, dinosaurs on the big screen is always fun. So, not going to complain about that. I'll gladly give it my money, and you never know. So, right. So, we also got it wasn't really a trailer. It was more of like a teaser for the Megan sequel, which is about that killer robot or whatever. That movie became such a big thing with that whole scene in the trailer, or just in the movie, of her dancing and all that stuff became such a big thing. I really liked the first one. It's not anything special or amazing, but it was a really fun time in the theater, and it could have been a little bit more violent. I know they did release another version of it with like a little bit more blood, but I think they did shoot a whole version or shot the movie intended to be R-rated, but it got cut down to PG-13, whatever, or M here in Down Under. So I don't really know where this one's going to go. I think it's called Megan 2.0. So I'm, again, same thing. I'm optimistic about it. So I don't know who's coming back besides, Megan. I think it's a whole new robot. That's hence why 2.0. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. And then obviously one of the biggest ones is the first teaser trailer for Fantastic Four: First Steps, the MCU debut essentially of the Fantastic Four, and I gotta say it does look pretty good. I'm pretty excited for that. At first I wasn't, because we have not gotten a great Fantastic Four movie. Like, there's that one in the 90s, but no one really saw that one. You got the two like early 2000s ones, and the first one's all right, but just. And then Silver Surfer wasn't great, and then obviously Fantastic from 2015 was flat out awful. So I really hope the MCU version does step up and is a big step up from those previous versions. It's got a good cast. We didn't get to see a whole lot in the trailer, but that's good. That's a good thing that we don't get to see a whole lot from it. So yeah, that was obviously a very big thing. And then one of the biggest pieces of news that I'm very, very excited for, and it's been a theory that's gone around for years, is Matthew Lillard, if you know from playing Shaggy in the 2 live-action Scooby-Doo movies, but he was also Stu Macher in the very first Scream movie. And spoiler alert for those who haven't seen that movie, he was obviously one of the Ghostface killers. Him and Billy, obviously, and he had a giant television dropped on his head. But there's always been that theory going around that, is he really dead? Like, there's a whole line in Scream 6 and all that stuff. But he is officially confirmed that he is coming back to play Stu. We don't know what the whole thing is, whether it's going to be like flashback stuff, or if it's going to be like in someone's head, like them imagining stuff, or whatever, or if he really isn't dead, like if he really did truly survive that and he's just been like in a facility or something. I'm very excited for this, because not only do I love the Scream franchise, and not only do I love Matthew Lillard as an actor, I loved his character in Scream. Obviously I love his portrayal of Shaggy, so this is very exciting news. Because again, it's been such a theory for years whether he is alive or not, and he was always denying it, like, no, I'm not coming back, or no, like Stu's definitely dead, like blah blah blah. But yeah, the fact that he's officially returning to the role is pretty exciting. And I also did see that, I believe this actor Mason Gooding, I think is his name, he has a new movie that just came out a day or two ago called Hard Eyes, which is like a new Valentine's horror film. He was in Scream 5 and 6. I don't know if it's been fully confirmed or not, but apparently he's also returning. Don't know about the twin sister in that film, Mindy. It's Chad and Mindy. Don't know about Mindy. Forgive me, I can't remember the actress's name, but I don't know if she's coming back, or it's a whole thing. We don't know if that's been confirmed or not. I would love to see the entire Core 4 come back, but obviously Melissa Barrera, again, if I mispronounce that name, and Jenna Ortega, they are obviously not coming back. It'd be great though, because I loved those characters. I was really attached to them after Scream 5, and got even more of them obviously in Scream 6. So I'm excited for Scream 7. Like, do we really need it? No, but it's cool that we're getting a few people coming back. Like, obviously Neve Campbell's returning and all that. So you never do know with these things. So yeah. And then finally, this is the last bit of news and the last bit of thing, is that there was the Super Bowl just happened recently, obviously, and that was when they released a bunch of teasers for new trailers and all that stuff. They released new footage from the live-action How to Train Your Dragon, which they showed more footage and stuff like that. They showed Test Drive, like the first look at the live-action version of Test Drive, which looks great. Very excited for that. The trailer is actually supposed to come out like today or tonight or something, as I'm currently filming. It should be out. So that's pretty exciting. And then there was a little thing of because they're making the live action Lilo and Stitch. There was a little thing of Stitch running around on the football field, and that was kind of a little teaser, another little teaser. I don't know if there's going to be a full trailer or not for that movie. We shall see. But yeah, How to Train Your Dragon live action. The more stuff we get to see and the more stuff they release, the more and more I get like super excited. Because like, yeah, again, not the most necessary movie. Same thing with Lilo and Stitch, but I think because it has some of the same people who did the animated stuff working on these live action films, I have a feeling they're going to be much better than a lot of the Disney live action stuff. So that intrigues me. Yeah, it was just really cool to see the first look of the test drive scene, because the test drive scene in the animated film is one of my favorite scenes in any animated film, really, or any movie. The score is fantastic, and they're really using and utilizing that score from the original films. We got to hear some more. There was a little scene in that little trailer of How to Train Your Dragon where it's a scene where Hiccup's like, I'm the first Viking who wouldn't kill a dragon, and then Astrid goes, first to ride one though. It was kind of cool to see a little sneak peek of that scene, and I think the two actors and actress playing Hiccup and Astrid, I think I have really high hopes for them, because they're both very talented. Mason Thames, I think, and I can't remember the other actress's name. I'm so bad at these, but she obviously looks great. I'm intrigued. I'm more excited than ever for How to Train Your Dragon live action. And again, if I spoke in a previous episode, I wasn't really all that excited, but now I am. Please deliver. Please, 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 just deliver. That goes, for all the news and stuff. And now on to the movies, which I have quite a few to get through. So you might want to get some popcorn or something, because I got a lot to go through. So first one I'm gonna talk about is Maxine, which is the final little film in the X trilogy, which started back in 2022 with X, and then you had Pearl, then you had Maxine. Pearl was the film in the middle was a prequel, and then Maxine takes place after X. I'm not going to really go into the plot or anything, because I feel like there's so many of you who probably haven't seen or heard of those movies, so I kind of want you to go in blind if you can, but they're solid films. X, I thought was great. Pearl was pretty good. I didn't enjoy Pearl quite as much. I felt like that was not quite as good as the first one. And then I thought Maxine was great. And it just flew by. Like, it was really good pacing in that film. I don't know if I actually mentioned Maxine in my previous episode. If I did, I'm sorry if I'm doing a repeat, but I watch a lot of movies, so that's just, that's what you're here for. If you're here for the movies and shows, cool. If you're here to hear more about music and video games, sure, stick around. I'll try and talk about them as much as I can, but I think I more lean towards more film related stuff, but I'll try and appeal to more people as much as I can. And then I watched this new Amazon Prime movie called You're Quarterly Invited or something, some new Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon film. Basic plot, I guess, is that they double book a wedding, so Will Ferrell's daughter and Reese Witherspoon, her sister. I don't know. It just it had some funny lines, and mostly from Will Ferrell, but I just felt like it was just the story was very cookie cutter, and it just didn't do a whole lot for me. I was pretty bored throughout most of the movie. It wasn't awful, but it was just kind of pretty bad comedy, I'd say. So, I mean, if you like Will Ferrell, I'd say give it a shot, because again, there's some really funny lines from him, particularly like in the beginning and towards the end where he says some really funny stuff. But overall, pretty bad and kind of bland streaming film, I guess. So, I did watch 500 Days of Summer, which is fantastic. I love that movie to death. I'd seen it as a kid, but I obviously remembered nothing. So it was more of a watch, like first time rewatch kind of thing. It's a great film. It really is. Highly recommend that one. I really, really do. What else? Swimming for Gold, which is like it's an Australian movie, but it stars Peyton List, who has to go to Australia and kind of coach the boys swimming team at this like college or something in the city. It's a fun little film. Like I feel like I felt the need to watch it at least once a year. Peyton List does a good job. I've always liked her as an actress. Obviously, she's Tori on Cobra Kai, but for the real people, the real OG, she was Holly Hills in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series. So, but it's a fun, it's fun enough. I enjoy seeing like the locations of Australia and of where I won't tell exactly where they are because I live in that area somewhat. Well, I live an hour from it, but still, it's really cool to see like, that they filmed in these places. I'm like, I've been there. Like, I kind of grew up in that area. Like, it's really cool, really really cool to see. Crazy Stupid Love was the next one. It's another great movie that I had not seen in years. Remembered nothing about it. I obviously went and saw Spider-Man: Homecoming, which was, so much fun getting to see that again in theaters. Not to spoil anything, but I love that movie. I think you kind of already know that when I did that MCU bracket, Homecoming was in there, and I said how much I love that movie, and that it's my favorite MCU Spider-Man movie. So, Despicable Me. I had to rewatch that because I hadn't seen that in a couple of years. If I'm going fast, I'm really sorry. Oh God, here goes Porter. Here he is. Here's Mr. Porter. He's come to say hello. How you doing, mate? Alright. But yeah, so, where was I? Despicable Me. Really fun animated kids film by Illumination. I really do enjoy it. I think it's very great. Yeah. I haven't seen the fourth one yet. I've heard nothing but terrible things and just... Yeah, I've heard nothing good about that movie, so I'm going back and rewatching the previous three. I don't know if I have to see Minions, and I don't know if I have to see The Rise of Gru or whatever. I hope I don't, because I don't really have an interest in those films, if I'm completely honest. Minions I never finished, if I'm honest, when it came out. So I just, yeah. But I'd say the first Despicable Me is probably the best out of the three. Although 2 comes pretty close. I'd say 2 was pretty close to that one. And then the very last one I want to talk about in terms of film is A Walk to Remember. And I actually just watched that today with Shane West and Mandy Moore as the 2 leads. Oh boy, that film, for me, I watch it at least every 2-3 years. And it's by far my favorite romance film. It's in competition with Before Sunrise, 10 Things I Hate About You, and Titanic. I think, but A Walk to Remember just kind of means a little bit more to me. I think it was because it was... Well, no, I'd seen 10 Things I Hate About You a couple of years prior, but I don't know, this film is just... A Walk to Remember, it's such a... It's going to sound really cheesy, but it's such a beautiful film. It's really heartwarming, but also heartbreaking at the same time. I think Shane West does a good job. He's a little bland, very early 2000s type of, sorry, acting style he's got. But he does a good job nonetheless. But Mandy Moore is the real standout. Mandy Moore does a great job as Jamie Sullivan, who's this kind of like the weird girl in the school, but kind of considered a bit weird by everybody. But what I love about her character is that she does not care what people think about her. She just walks around with a free spirit and does whatever she wants. She's her own woman, and obviously, Shane West as Landon is kind of like in the popular, one of the popular kids at high school. Doesn't really want anything to do with her. But as the film progresses and they kind of start to form a bond and obviously form a romantic relationship. And it's one of those rare romantic films where, like, I really, truly, like, makes me believe in love and that it is out there, Not too many romance movies do that. Probably the other ones that I mentioned, and then Love Actually is one of the other ones that kind of does it for me in terms of, like, yeah, true love is out there. Like, oh my god, it exists. It's not just like lost in translation, I guess. But yeah, I adore Walk to Remember. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I seriously would recommend giving it a try, even if you're not into those types of films. Look, I would probably get made fun of for liking it. But you know what? Who cares? I think it's pretty stupid that we all have to defend ourselves for liking certain films or liking certain TV shows, music, books, whatever. It's kind of stupid that we have to defend ourselves. I mean, a lot of the time, like, maybe I've made fun of friends and family that like certain movies and stuff like that, but I don't really... I've learnt not to really do that as much anymore. I feel like I'm just going to, like, you know what? That's your opinion. That's you. Like, if you want to like this movie or like this show or dislike this, whatever. We'll have our own opinions. It's kind of stupid that they feel the need to defend themselves just for liking it. So if I have to defend myself for liking A Walk to Remember, a cheesy early 2000s romantic drama film, then sure. I'll do as I please. It's got all the cliches, but they're done well. And I remember the first time there's obviously a bit of a twist in that film that I did not see coming at all. So yeah, I'd recommend A Walk to Remember for sure. All right, so. Sorry if that was all over the place, if I was talking fast. I didn't really want to go in depth with a lot of those movies. I just wanted kind of to name them, and I'll make sure I'll put up the poster for them so you know what they are. And I'd recommend pretty much all of them except for the Will Ferrell one, I'd say. I actually did, just one more, I did, like, not even 10, 15 minutes ago maybe, I don't know, I just rewatched Boyhood. Because I was like, I want to watch Boyhood again. It's been like 4 years. Let's give it another try. I already gave my thoughts on that movie. There is the poster in the background, and then there is the 4K release of the film. So I just finished rewatching it, and to kind of go a little bit more in depth, I love that movie so much. It is a film I can watch just so many times, and I'm never bored by it. I'm never bored by that film. I think every single conversation in that film and every character feels so genuine and so real. You're watching it like this isn't a movie. Like, these aren't characters. These are like real life people that you would meet and have chats with. It's so good. And the movie is 2 hours and 45 minutes, and it flies by for me. Not a whole lot happens, which is fine. That's kind of, I adore Boyhood so much. And usually it's like maybe every 3, and it's been 4 years. I think this might become a yearly rewatch now. I really do think it's that great of a movie. I shouldn't really have to sell you on it, but I will anyway. For the love of God, please watch Boyhood. Okay. Right, now on to the last part. My thoughts on Goosebumps The Vanishing, which is the 2025 Goosebumps. Very new release, like maybe not even a few weeks ago. David Schwimmer is the main star instead of Justin Long in this one. This one wasn't as good as the first little anthology series they had before it with Justin Long. It just, towards the end of it, got a little bit too more. It got too sci-fi for my liking, and I do like sci-fi stuff, but it didn't really feel like Goosebumps. Like the first few episodes did, but the last 3 really didn't. And there was a couple of times in these last 2 or 3 episodes that really started to lose my interest. But look, at the end of the day, it's still, the majority of it felt like a Goosebumps story, and I enjoyed the characters, and everybody did a good job with their roles. David Schwimmer wasn't quite as good as Justin Long, but you know, he did a really good job. Like I'd say he was just playing Ross again, but he does it so well. I liked the atmosphere of the show. It's set in modern day. It's set in 2025, so obviously there's a lot of different like music. Very odd selection of music choices. Couple of songs in that I do like, but for the most part, I'm just like these. Especially like in the end credits, there was some questionable song choices, just ones that sounded like crap. Wasn't a fan of those at all. So, but yeah, you know, it was a fun overall season. I think they're going to continue with this anthology kind of route. So I think the first little series was set in the 90s or something like that. Oh, was it 90s? I can't remember. I really don't. It might have been, might not have been. This one was like, so 2025. Excuse me. Who knows what the next one could be? If they make a 3rd season, I'm down for it. I will be watching it as soon as it comes out. So I would recommend both of these 2 seasons. The first season definitely feels more like a Goosebumps story. And this one feels like a Goosebumps story for the first like maybe 5-6 episodes, but then the last 2 or 3 really fell off a little bit for me. But overall it was enjoyable. I had fun. And yeah, that's Goosebumps The Vanishing. I would recommend both seasons if you're a fan of Goosebumps. Even if you're not, both of them kind of feel like a bit Stranger Things in a way, which is great. I mean, I love Stranger Things, so any show just about that can maybe feel like that, I'm cool with. So yeah, that will conclude this episode of the Porter Says podcast with your host and only host Heath. Really hope you end up enjoying this one. I'm going to do my best, to make it as, make sure it flows and as smooth as possible. If I did speak too fast and all that, let me know down below, and I'll try and improve for the next episode. I'll keep you updated as much as I can through my Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff. Links will be in the description. And, yeah. See you guys later.